What's going on, guys? It's another great day, and in this video I'll be going through how do we make good money off gaming launchpads. Stay tuned. Okay, first up, if you guys don't know what is these launchpads all about, they are basically platforms which facilitates IGOs, in-game offerings of project developers. They are general launchpads that facilitate the funding of all kinds of blockchain projects. So this is the stage where investors like us, we can invest a certain amount of USD in exchange for their tokens. So one example is PokerStarter, but I want to talk about gaming launchpads, mainly Enjin Starter, Seedify, and Paid Network. So here I will be covering Enjin Starter primarily because I am invested in it. So why would you want to invest in a launchpad? Okay, so giving you an example, DYOR. DYOR launched on Seedify Launchpad at a price of about 0.028. So those who have allocation to it can buy in at this price. When these coins initially launches on any DEXs, they would usually be bought up by bots. So any retail investors like us can never buy at these prices. And usually it would spike up at least 50 to 100x depending on how hyped the token is. So DYOR was extremely hyped up. And once it launched on a DEX, it went up all the way up to $3 to $4. So it's an instant 100x from these prices. So those people who participated in their IGOs are instantly up 100x instantly. And people like us can never get at these prices. And that is why I always mention that if you want to buy a coin, don't buy it right at the launch because it's usually being bought up by bots and the price is overinflated. That is why people invest in launchpads, because they get allocation to their IGOs and ICOs of new coins. Okay, so first to start off, I'll be talking about Enjin Starter. Enjin Starter is the launchpad that I recently invested. So how are the allocations determined for Enjin Starter? So there are mainly 4 factors that they take account. The amount of the tokens that I hold. So then they will determine by which pool you are in, how long you held your tokens for. So they have this function where there's a time boost, means the longer you hold the tokens, the more allocation you get. Okay, then the third factor is how much Enjin Starter has for each IDO. So the allocation given to Enjin Starter. And lastly, the total number of people whitelisted for the IDO. So moving on to the tiers, they have mainly 3 tiers. Firstly is the Universe tier. So if you hold 25,000 EJS tokens in the same wallet, you get the guaranteed allocation, but it's the smallest tier. And the second tier, Metaverse, you hold a minimum of 100,000 EJS tokens. And lastly, Multiverse, tier 3, hold 500,000 EJS tokens. And for transparency purposes, I hold this amount. I hold 25,000 EJS tokens because I just want to try out Enjin Starter. I want to participate in the IGOs and get a feel for IGO projects because I've never participated in any IGOs before. And for me, 25,000 EJS tokens is pretty affordable to me. Right now, Enjin Starter is sitting at about 17 cents. So if you calculate 25,000 times 17 cents, it's about 4.4k right now. So not financial advice, but do give it a go in investing in launchpads because the projects you get in IGO prices are insane. You get it at a super low price. When the project launches, it's an instant minimum 25x if you get into projects that are hyped up. Not just any random projects. You got to take a look at what projects are launching. So one cool thing about Enjin Starter is, as I mentioned, they take into account how long you hold your tokens. So the longer you hold the tokens, the more allocation you get, right? So they give an example over here. Wallet A holding 25,000 EGS tokens for 15 days, you're allocated $72. Another wallet holds the same amount of tokens for 45 days, so 30 more days. And they are allocated $77. So this incentivizes people to hold on to their tokens instead of dumping them right after any ICOs or IGOs. So moving on to how do you use Enjin Starter and the Launchpads to get into IGOs. So right now, you would see the active projects and the coming soon projects. How do I navigate this page? Usually, I'll go over their coming soon projects. So what IGOs are coming on Enjin Starter and do my research on them. And then I'll decide whether I want to get into these coins. Recently, I participated in one of their IGOs called Zombie. I thought it was a pretty neat game, and so I invested in it. And I'll talk about the allocations later. Right now, I'll go through how do you get into the IGOs. Let's say you're interested in, Attack Wagon. Right now, they have opened up their IGOs for guaranteed allocations. So right now, let's say you want to participate in Attack Wagon. Click on Learn More. Click and Participate. And then we have this page. Click Proceed. You connect your MetaMask. And there we go. They would tell you how much you are entitled to. So right now, I'm entitled to an allocation of one lot of 451 ATK tokens, which means I can only allocate $11 of my BUSD for this amount. Right now, I'm holding 25,000 EGS tokens, so it's the smallest allocation, and that's why this amount is very small. So the more tokens you hold, the better your allocation. The Zombie token that I participated in, I was only allocated about $13, so it's around these prices as well. But yeah, it's very small allocation, but I'm just trying out. So the main reason why I invested in Enjin Starter is because they've recently partnered with Seedify, and I'm pretty sure they are going to launch Seedify on their Launchpad as well. As I mentioned Seedify before, they already released their gameplay already. The game looks super cool. Their own metaverse where you can walk around, do missions, and in their space world. Yeah, so I'm really excited for Seedify. I already mentioned it a few times. It's probably going to launch on Enjin Starter, and so hopefully I get a higher allocation. It's probably going to launch on 15 December, so hopefully the time boost will boost my allocation up. It's probably going to do extremely well, something like Cryo War. I'm pretty sure it'll do at least 100x from the IGO price. And so let me do the calculations for you guys. Let's say I get an allocation of $50, right? And it does a 100x. 100x. It's $5,000. Launchpads usually there's a vesting period, so I only can get 25% of my tokens right at the launch. So divide by 4. So this is the amount of tokens that I will get right at the launch. So if you sell it right away, you kind of earn back about 1/4 of your investment in the Launchpad tokens itself. You just need to have maybe 4 more hype games or 3 to 4 more hype games where you participate in their IGOs. You do basically the same thing, and then you earn back your principal which you invested in the Launchpad tokens. And do not forget, these are only 25% of your total amount of tokens allocated to you. Usually, the tokens are vested for the next 2 months for Enjin Starter. So after every month pass, you would get back 25% of the tokens. So if the token continues to do well, sometimes you may earn even more. So this is just my thinking, and that is why I invested in Enjin Starter. And I am very stoked for the Seedify launch, and so this is what I'm doing right now. So comparing to other launchpads like Seedify, Seedify is, I would say, the best launchpad to invest in, but right now the price is too high already. It's currently at a price of $14.45, and looking at their tiers, for their tier 1s, you just need to hold 250 Seedify tokens, But this is only lottery based, so it's not guaranteed allocation. Next, you see tier 2, which is 1000 Seedify tokens. If you calculate, let's bring out the calculator again, 1000 times 14 bucks, which is right now, you need to invest a total of $14,000 just to get into the tier 2. So I do not want to try participating in Seedify launches at these prices, so I decided to invest in Enjin Starter. But if you have this amount, Seedify is a very good choice to invest in because tons of very good games launched on Seedify. So if you have the amount, I would say Seedify is a very good bet. And lastly, I want to mention about paid network as well. Paid network is similar, where you have the Moon tier, Galaxy tier, and their Cosmos tier. So 3 tiers. In the Moon tier basically, if you stake over 1000 paid tokens, you are eligible for this tier. And every 1000 stake, you get a lottery ticket. So Moon tier for paid network is not guaranteed allocation. It's I think you'll get a referral, and then if you're lucky, you'll be allocated. And then Galaxy tier is the one that is guaranteed. So if you hold 75,000 tokens and more, you are eligible for this. And you get a guaranteed allocation. So what's the price of paid network? Paid network is about $1 right now. So moving back, if you want a guaranteed allocation, you need to hold 75,000. So 75,000 times $1, you need $75,000 just to participate in the guaranteed allocation, which is also too high for me. I wouldn't want to invest in this. I don't want to just participate in lotteries, you know. I don't want to leave it by chance. I want to get guaranteed allocation. That is why my final decision was to invest in Enjin Starter, and their upcoming projects that are going to be launched on Enjin Starter there are going to be very good games launching on Enjin Starter. So not financial advice, but I would say Enjin Starter is the best launchpad to invest in right now. Even though my allocation is so small, $10 to $20, I believe I can earn it back by participating in a few of the hyped gaming coins that are going to be launching on Enjin Starter very soon. So I already mentioned how you can earn back the money that you invest in Enjin Starter really easily. Oh, one more thing I forgot about Enjin Starter. Enjin Starter does not require you to stake the EGS tokens to join the IGOs. You need to hold your EGS tokens in the same wallet. That's it. You do not need to stake or lock your tokens or anything. So anytime you want to sell it off, you can. And I would say Enjin Starter, the price is very stable. In the last, how many months? It only just launched in October, and the price is staying pretty stable, I would say. It's just fluctuating from 15 cents to 20 cents. So very stable, and I think because of the time boost and everything else, people are less likely to dump their tokens. That is another factor why I feel Enjin Starter is the best launchpad token to invest in right now for guaranteed allocations. So yeah, that's it for me. Hope that you learned something from this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also do follow me on Twitter at b_chick, as I post my information there mainly on Twitter first before uploading it on YouTube. Catch you guys later, and remember, the markets are always here, but your capital may not. Peace.